Okay, so I just want to clarify a few things about this. The reason why this one was leaked in the first place is because a staff, whom obviously I cannot review the name of, is really, really mad about this amendment. Now, this date, 15 June 2025, it is fake. It was just meant to be doctored in the sense that, like, people manipulated the date. It's not even real. Like, some details of the poster, it kind of looks sus. There is like 51A over here, but then completely no mention of 51A over here. Because all that's mentioned here is, I'm just going to read it out to you. Service 51 will be amended to serve NUS and Science Park Drive. It will no longer serve Jurong East Central, which means it's going to take the shortcut like the one that 97 and 197 does, which is like, okay, fine, at least there's still like 143. Pasir Panjang Road and Alexandra Road. Passengers traveling to the deleted sectors may take services 30 or 143/M. I don't know why M is even include. I think it's because of this thing. May take services 30 or 143/M instead. And then there is the Chinese part, which obviously I don't know how to read because I only know Japanese and English. And then this table, it's like, it looks kind of dodgy. The format of this table, it looks kind of sus, but this is just trying to say which, like both directions, like one towards Hougang, one towards Jurong East, like which bus stops are being deleted, like the ones in red, and then which ones are new bus stops, the ones in green and lime green. So here's the thing. The poster is clearly fake. But the scary thing is this discussion is actually going on inside of you know where now. That's the scary part. And the leaker was so mad that like they wanted to bring attention to us. So I'm gonna grant their wish. I'm gonna be saying that LTA sucks. Number one, you don't use a long distance service to do this kind of thing. Okay, I'll explain later. And I feel like I have to clarify this one. This 2-hour rule thing, it only applies to new services that are going to be introduced like after the rule has been, set up. The existing services, that means those services that were made before said rule came into effect, these will not be affected. However, this does not necessarily mean that they aren't able to amend like certain parts of like the current route in order to like improve BC welfare. It's like taking a faster route, for example. You don't necessarily have to like cut the route to the point whereby it goes below 2 hours. I'm just saying that like they can make improvements to the route, like changing sectors, swapping sectors, or even like cutting to a point whereby like it's close to 2 hours. It's still above it, but close. But like you don't necessarily have to go below 2 hours, but it's just an attempt to like improve BC welfare because Service 51 is like a really long bus route. Now, I do not know the exact date, but like as early as 2017, there were already rumors about like 51 being truncated to UNOS. Okay, I'm gonna tell you historically, there was a 51, 54, and then there was this 192. So this 192, if I'm not mistaken, it was like Jurong interchange to like South Canal Terminal, and then this service, it got integrated into this 51. Then it became like Jurong East to UNOS or something along those lines. And this 54, the old 54, was actually from Hougang South, which is like Kovan, Hougang South bus terminal to Jalan UNOS loop. So what happened was that 51 used to like terminate at like around Jalan NUS as well. I think there was like a bus terminal outside, and then they merged this one together with this one to become Jurong East to Hougang South, and then later they amended it to Hougang Central when Hougang South closed down because they wanted to consolidate all the bus services into Hougang Central. So yeah, that was why 51 even goes to Hougang in the first place. So now they're gonna split it back into this thing, and I don't know how they're gonna compensate like the UNOS sector. But like the thing about this is that this whole cut to UNOS thing has already been on the table ever since as early as like 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if they had said something along these lines, like it would have been way more believable. So when I saw this poster, I was like, okay, it's too good to be true. And then several details about this poster, they look kind of dodgy. But now I understand why. This poster was actually fabricated by staff in order to like get attention from us about like the whole amendment that is like being discussed internally right now. And hey, I applaud you. Now I am going to, okay, I'm gonna be talking about whether this thing is real or fake. Like obviously, you know this thing is already going on behind the scenes, but I just want to say whether it's real or fake. I'm just going to judge this amendment as is, like as it is. So yeah. Now because the leaker apparently wants us to generate backlash, so that's what we will do. But here's the thing. I am still going to judge this amendment fairly, and I will explain why. So, 51. Let's say this is West Coast Road. This is Pasir Panjang Road. And then this one's gonna be Alexandra, and then you know the Queensway, Commonwealth Avenue, and this stretch. So what it's gonna become is from Queensway, you got Portsdown Avenue, and then this thingy over here is like AYE, and then Science Park Drive, and then it's gonna go inside Lower Kent Ridge Road, which is like NUS area, and then it's gonna like go out like this. The issue with this is that 51 currently has double deckers, and one point that was brought up to me about a few frequent commuters, frequent users of 92, like current 92, is that okay, 92 is not going anywhere because that thing links to Buona Vista. So this thing, this road over here, Science Park Drive, I was told by them that this road is way too narrow, and then the tree branches are also like kind of low in order to like it's too narrow to accommodate double deckers. I do not know how exactly true this is, but I was told that there is a DD restriction along this road, and yeah, the benefits of such an amendment is that you let Normanton Park, because 92 doesn't like operate 24/7 or anything, you let Normanton Park, this area, as well as like Science Park Drive, to have access to like Queenstown MRT. It's like there's a mosque here, and then there is like a polyclinic here as well. It's like access to like amenities in general, and then there is like Dawson over here, like the housing estate. And then there is NUS over here, because NUS historically is very hub-spoke. It doesn't really have buses that take you outside. Like even way before 95 was a thing, there was like the 200 series of like feeder bus services that looped inside of NUS. And yeah, the longest bus service that has ever gone inside, discounting Clementi Road and 151, I mean, discounting 151 and discounting whatever services are already along AYE, if you're coming from like NUS, and not NUH, but like NUS, you only really have 95 to access like Kent Terminal and then Buena Vista as well. So by introducing this 51, I was gonna say take advantage of the double deckers, but then you realize this road is like, it's not even fit for double deckers according to people. Not according to me, but according to other people. It's supposed to take advantage of double deckers. It's supposed to like connect Queenstown MRT. It's supposed to link NUS to the outside world, give them a few options, link NUS to like West. I'm just saying all this like really generally. And again, their purpose of doing this is really just to cut down the runtime. But you realize you cannot simply just do this. Look, the buses that turn from Alexandra to Pasir Panjang, currently, it's only 51 and 175. 175 comes from Depot Road. And then it goes down Alexandra. Then it goes to West Coast Highway like this. So if you were to remove 51 from this sector, let's say you're coming from like Queensway in general, you have to take like 61, 93, or 100 to Alexandra. Then you have to intersect 175. And then at Pasir Panjang Road, before this thing hits to West Coast Highway, let's say you are heading towards like, what's that road name? Like King Terrace. You have to change another bus. Like let's say 188. Then there is like 30 as well, and then 143 as well. Like you have to make two from 51, from having like a direct 51, you need to incur like two additional transfers from like, okay, so this is from here to here, from here to here it's 1, and then from here to here it's 2. So there are two additional transfers that you have to make. And 175 cannot be taken away from West Coast Highway. West Coast Highway is still a relatively new road. I mean, not very new, but in the sense of like 1970s, 80s, 90s, like that era, it is relatively new. And then 176, which used to be called 184, SBS 184, like the first generation of it, it got pushed to West Coast Highway because that area needed a bus. Like it besides West Coast Road, West Coast Highway, it still serves like a few HDB estates, and it's a fast option as well, except during peak hours where it gets clogged with heavy vehicles. But like that's kind of like out of our control. So, and then they pushed 175 as well, giving these people an additional option. So it's not like 175 and 176 you could take it out of West Coast Highway. No, you cannot. West Coast Road and Highway, it's like two completely different catchments, and you cannot just amend 175 to West Coast Road to like compensate or anything. Because 175's purpose is not to be along Pasir Panjang and West Coast, like that area. It's meant to be along West Coast Highway. So you can improve 51, but at the expense of 175. You're gonna be making this service's runtime a lot worse if you amend 175 into West Coast Road. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking. Because I'm just gonna say, the whole concept of a service from West Coast going inside Kent Ridge, like NUS area, going inside Science Park, and then going to Portsdown, basically giving these people access to like new areas like, you know, Queensway, you got buses around there, and then you got Commonwealth Avenue, you got buses around there as well. The whole concept, it's not bad. But using 51 to do such a thing, especially when this area is like kind of DD restricted, according to my friends, according to like frequent users of the route, they say it's DD restricted. Using 51 or whatever 51A that they cooked to do this is incredibly stupid. Yes, I know the intention is to cut runtime, but this is not the right way to cut runtime, I'm sorry to say. Because there is no way that you're gonna get people to do one transfer and then do another transfer. There is just no way you're gonna do that. especially if their destination is like near to Heng Mui King Terrace, and then they want to access like Queensway Shopping Center for like lunch or dinner or anything, or for shopping in general. There's like another shopping mall that's like to the opposite of Queensway Shopping Center. That's like Alexandra, whatever, but it's like nearby. And then there's like IKEA as well. This whole area is like a shopping district, and then yeah, you're like compromising this shopping district all for NUS, Science Park, and everything. I would rather you just introduce like a new. Okay, here's the thing. If you guys amend 51 to this area, but you introduce a new service to cover the existing sectors of 51, that I am okay. But because Bus Connectivity Enhancement Program, BCEP, is basically off-peak headway reduction program, so-called nicely and positively repackaged, but in reality it's supposed to be spreading resources thin. That's why you see all the express feeders and all the crazy stuff like that. It is spreading resources thin. And you know that that department, bus planning lead, like not the normal staff, they're innocent, but like the higher ups in LTA, they hate trunk services. They are the kinds who are like feeder services. Oh, I must impose like quality standards, like frequency and everything on feeder services, but trunk services, who cares about that? They really have this mindset, and I'm not even joking about it. That's why I'm trying to bring this all to your attention. So it's highly, highly, highly unlikely that they're gonna, you know, make a new service just to cover like the existing sectors of 51, unless they want to do something like extend a bus service from Kent bus terminal to, let's say, what's the nearest terminal from here? It's like there aren't many. There is like Bukit Merah and Kampong Baru terminal. That's already like the nearest. And Bukit Merah doesn't necessarily have space. Kampong Baru is like, I don't know how much space that terminal has. You could technically extend 201 covering 51 to Kampong Baru terminal. You could, but that thing is a loop service. It's not bidirectional, so it's not even like advisable to do that and make 201 run into congestion along Pasir Panjang and Alexandra. It's not worth it. So yeah, I don't think I don't think like amending an existing service like realistically would happen, and that's the reason why it's kind of alarming. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to like, it's for BC welfare. So I'm like, it's not that I'm mad at this. I'm not mad at the whole thought process. I'm mad, and I believe some other people are mad as well, like internally. They're mad at how LTA did it. Like, I'm not saying bus rationalization is bad. Like, even if there was like no MRT, I'm not saying that the presence of MRT is like going to change bus routes a lot. I've already talked about that in previous videos. Like, even if there was no bus, even if there was no MRT, bus duplication might result in killing other buses as well. Like, especially when said options become unpopular over time. Like, you know, I'm not saying rationalization, like careful splitting of routes, careful swapping of sectors, like actually not haphazard but careful swapping sectors and stuff like that. I'm not saying bus rationalization is bad. I'm just saying the way that LTA has the higher ups have gone about doing said rationalizations, it's really bad. That's something that you have to admit. So I basically showed you why the amendment for 51, it's bad. Yeah. If anything, you guys might consider splitting 51 instead of like just trying to like make it go inside NUS and Science Park. Again, I'm not against the concept of it. I just prefer if another service were to do that instead, you know. One last thing, LTA, you suck.